Many have seen the 4xCCU basic controller that I designed, and quite a few of them have gone out now. But shortly we're going to be releasing an updated version of the CCU controller. Again, this is pretty much the same as the original one. It's got the 4 CCU positions, and this one also has the optional display for people who are budget minded. If you don't need the display, you just want to do basic control, you don't buy that, you just buy the basic unit. But with this new unit, it does everything the old unit does. In fact, it's the same software, but it's got a few added facilities to it. We've got the built-in display now, and it's in its own case. It's still got the same connections on the side. The only difference is that we've moved the status LED is on the side of the old one, but here it's up on the front. But the main difference is that we've got this joystick now, and with a light, a button on it. And what this does is it gives you the ability to control hardware control of the PTZ or pan tilt zoom apparatus that you can have. And again, we're just using a my PTZ controller unit, and it's gives you the ability to be able to control any of the 4 cameras. On here at the moment I've only got 2 cameras at a PTZ. Let me just come up to here. That's my main program output. If I just switch that over to the super source, I've got 4 cameras sitting up here at the moment. These are 2 Ursa broadcasts. These are 2 Micro Studio cameras, and this one here is camera 5, which is this one over here, and way over there as usual I've got another one. There's the Ursa broadcast, but there's another camera here on a pan and tilt head. And very basically, the way it works is that you'll see we've got all four tallies on there at the moment because we've got all 4 cameras in the quad split. But basically the way it works is that you just select whatever camera that you want to control, and you can see I've got them working on preview at the moment. So you push the button down, you can preview the cameras. This is using one of the AUX buses, and so whatever the last camera you selected is what the PTZ controller is going to do. And I don't know whether you can see it here or not. I'll do a zoom in here. You can see if I just say select the second camera, if you zoom up in here, well, there it is. You see there's a little blue bar under there, and as I select the individual cameras, it will go and do a little underline there. And what that basically means is that whatever control adjusts you do on the PTZ, it will be controlling that camera. So my camera's positions 1 and 2 don't have PTZs, but 3 and position 4, which is actually camera 5, does have PTZ. I'll zoom back out again, and in normal operation mode you can move this around. Nothing's going to happen because this is a full relative control, and so for you to be able to gain an adjustment, you need to be pushing the button down. And what this red light does here is that when you turn that on, that allows this to do focus and zoom. And I'll turn that off for the moment, as it's going to do PTZ or pan and tilt. So the display doesn't show you anything at all when you're using this. You can also use the PTZ control in the come over here. Just hit PTZ. You can still use your PTZs as you normally would I've shown you in that last video. This does the 4 cameras. The front iris knob turns into the pan, and the rear knobs turn into the tilt. But we're going to be doing it using the hardware controller. So by pushing down and then moving, you then can do a pan and a tilt. One of the advantages is if I just go back up to the AUX, the preview output, when I hold down the button, it automatically selects the last camera, so you can actually be viewing what you're doing. And there I'm doing a tilt, sorry, a pan. I don't know my pans from the tilts. So there's the pan, and then of course I can do tilt up and then tilt down. Just tilting down. Oh, let me just frame it up a bit better for you. and when you take your finger off the button, off the joystick, it returns to whatever your last source was. What I've also made it do is that when you take your finger off the button, it holds the picture on the monitor for about another second. The reason for that is that when you finish doing your panning and your tilting, if you took your finger off the button and the picture immediately went back to whatever your program output was, you wouldn't actually see the thing finishing its pan. So it holds on for about 1 second after. I'll just show you again. I'm just going to come up to here. As I hold down, it selects it. Now I'm doing the movement, the pan, and then I'm going to take my finger off the button, and then you'll see when I said button, I took my finger off, but it held on for another second, so that you get satisfied that the movement has finished. And with the focus in zoom, we just hit the button there, and now the knob turns into focus and zoom. So the x-axis is your zoom, and the x-axis is your focus, and the y-axis is your zoom. So if I just come back up here again, you'll see on that fourth camera I can zoom it in. Oh, hit the button, and you probably can't see that focusing. There's the zooming in, and zoom back out again. There's the zooming out, and I don't know how I'm going to show you the focus other than let it go out of focus. There you go, it's going out of focus. There you go, it's a long way out of focus, and then I can bring it back into focus. And it does the same thing. Once you've take your finger off, it holds for another second, and then it returns you back to whatever you've programmed as your default input. And that's basically it. You can reverse the commands on the pans and tilts if needed by just going into setup. This is exactly the same as when you're in using the other pan and tilt controls on the touchscreen. But you see there's your pans and your tilts, forwards, reverses, so you can do all that there. The other thing you can also do, you can control the speed of your pans and tilts by just going into the pan and tilt mode here, and you'll see up the top here it says it's ×1. So you just push any one of these 4 buttons and it gives you ×1, ×2, ×4 and ×8. And that's all I want to show you in respect to this. Very shortly I'm going to be doing a video on the new version. This particular unit here is, again, as per the last one, is using rotary knobs, which are infinity turns. With there is going to be a more expensive version, which is basically going to be using I don't know whether you can see, this is just a prototype, but it's it has the ability to be able to use these. I can't do it with one-handed, but anyhow, it's a full lever control IRIS, and it's pushed the button down to preview, and then you've got pedestal on here as well. That's pretty much the way the broadcasters operate, and this is actually going to be built into the same panel. It's going to replace the knobs with these. See if I can show you on the an artist's impression. There you go. That's kind of what it's going to look like. That's the top, and you've got the 4 knobs, and but that'll be in another video. That's in the works. It should be finished in a couple of weeks, well, probably even by the end of next week. So thank you for watching.